All right, so here we have another example of this ladder. And so right here, we're going to see actually how a conversion works using this ladder. So there's a few different ways you can do this, but the method we're going to use for this class is the ladder method, right? You can do division, multiplication, but this ladder method will work for our purposes. And it makes things a little bit easier. And so just know again that you start with the kilo, then you have the hecto, deca, the base unit, and here it shows again meters, liters, and grams, and then deci, centi, and milli. All right, so make sure that you know these. These are going to be important to know. You got to know that kilo is 1,000 units, right? And we were not really going to focus too much on hecto and deca for this class. We will use the base units, not so much deci either, but you're going to have to know centi and that it is worth zero point zero 0.01 of a unit, and also milli, and that this is worth 0.001 of a unit. That's the value of it, right? So mostly we're just going to be dealing with the kilo, the base units, which are meters, liters, grams, and then centi and milli. All right, so like I said right now, this is pretty much one of the easier ways to work out these conversion problems. And so, like it says here, to convert to a smaller unit, move the decimal point to the right. If we're moving it to a larger unit, then we're going to move it to the left. All right, so basically, the first thing you got to do is know your starting off point. So let's look at this example right here. Right, this example right here. So our starting off point is we're converting from 4 kilometers, and we're going to convert that to meters. Right, so the starting off point here is kilo. So let me go ahead and just erase this and this and this. All right. So again, we're not going to focus on these that are scratched out, but the other ones we will. So kilo, right? You go to the starting point, and right here we have 4 kilometers, and so that is the starting point. Now the next thing is count the jumps to your end point. So we know that we start here and we have to end at meters, right? And then right here, notice that these are where the meters are at, or this is where the meters are at, right? So all you have to do is now the third step here, move the decimal point the same number of jumps in the same direction, right? So if we're going from kilo to meters, that just means you go 1, 2, 3, and not just 3, but remember, you're going 3 to the right, right? So we went 3 spaces to the right. So all you do here is you write the 4. This is the thing that throws everyone off. If there is a number and it's a whole number like the 4 here, and there is no decimal point, you always write a decimal point. And let me actually erase this so I can show you. You always write the decimal point right after that number, right? So right there, you always assume that there is a decimal after a number, right? So here they wrote down the 4 and then they put the decimal point. All right. And because we moved 3 to the right, what they did is they moved it 1, 2, 3 places to the right. Remember, you put a 0 here. Every time you move the decimal, you put a 0. So we moved it 1 and put a 0. You move it again, put a 0 there. You move it again, and you put a 0 here. And then you just move that decimal 1, 2, 3 spots to the right. And when you do that, you end up with 4,000, right? And if you wanted to, you could put the decimal here at the end. You don't have to, but it's just assumed that it is there at the end. Right, so that is an example of how you work out a conversion using the ladder method. And we're going to do a few of these in a second. I just wanted to show you this slide right here so it kind of illustrates it a little bit better and gives you a practice problem. So let's go ahead and do a few of these.